All right, I'm gonna try to be as clear and concise as I'm talking to you today as I am when I'm sitting on the playground venting about my toddlers. For some reason, when I'm having good conversation or I'm just talking to other moms, it comes out a lot more fluid, and I feel like I've got some wisdom. But then when the camera turns on, bleh. Talking to you today about the raising kids and, you know, the theory of nature versus nurture. Which one is really going to form your child? The genetics that goes into their nature. Are they born with their wonderful, colorful, or shitty personalities? Picky eatingness? Are they born with that? Or did we do that? Did we screw them up? Did we nurture that into them? Is that us? So when I say nature versus nurture, let's just discuss real quick, what the heck does that mean? Two trains of thoughts about philosophical question or whatever. Is it in your nature, your personality? Is your personality, the attributes of your personality, you know, who you are, is that intrinsic in your being? Is that something that you are born with? It's who you are. Or is it something that of the outside forces? That's the nurture. So outside forces like your surroundings, your parenting, economical status. I can't even think of the word right now, but basically, you know, how you grow up. Basically, you're either born this way or it's your mama and dad's fault. I am who I am. I was born this way, or I'm gonna go ahead and blame my mom on that one. So that's basically the difference between nature and nurture. Okay, let's dive right in. Some parents, we're talking about raising kids. We're talking about toddlers and teenagers. We're talking about, I don't care how much of a control freak you are and you think that you want to be able to raise your kids right and steer them in one direction. I've got bad news for you. At least this is my theory, that you can nurture them all you want in the one direction that you want them to go to, but nature's gonna take its course, and if you got an asshole kid, you got an asshole kid. So I was talking to one of the moms today after school, and we were talking about her, I think she like spanked or like disciplined her daughter. She disciplined her child, and felt like she was getting a stink eye from another mom. What? She was getting a stink eye from another mom, and she's a little bit younger than me, but not by much younger, this other mom, friend of mine, but her kids are younger than mine. I've got 3 teenagers and 2 toddlers, but she's got a toddler and a baby. We were putting her kids in the car, and I told her, you know, don't worry about it. Like, if somebody's giving you the stink eye and mom shaming for doing what you had to do for your kid, she can suck it. And I was like, why was she like that? Did she say anything? And she's like, I don't know, maybe she has RBF, or maybe she just doesn't like me, or maybe whatever. But, you know, I had to tell this mom friend of mine that take it with a grain of salt. I don't know what happened to me or when it happened, but somewhere in the past couple years, I kind of just don't give a shit about what other moms have to say or think about me. Every time, pretty much, I go to pick up the toddlers from the Mother's Day out, we all sit outside and on the playground and all the kids play, and I don't hold back the things that I have to say. Mind you, everything that I have to say isn't always necessarily the classiest thing to come out of my mouth, but at the same time, I kind of don't care. Sometimes I feel like I'm saying things aloud about like, my asshole toddler stories, you know, like when my toddler's being a jerk or spanking them, you know, just whatever, disciplining my kid, or when my kid's being a jerk, or the fact that my kid cries when you mention eating green beans, crap like that. And sometimes I probably exaggerate a lot because I am dramatic. I was like, sometimes I feel like I just say things because so that other moms don't feel like they're alone. You know, I mean, like, I'll say things, and whether if they, you know, sometimes I'll say something and it's, you know, like I'm venting about my kid, and sometimes I feel like I'm venting too much and I just sound like a complaining mom. But then you never know, another mom might, you know, pop me like, yeah, that was me yesterday. Like, thank God I'm not crazy. I guess that's my point for the day, is that you can speak up. I mean, we can speak up about our kids being little grumpy butts and be okay with that. and know that, you know, it's normal. Back to the nature versus nurture thing. So I was telling this other mom, and you can raise your kids how you want, and I can, you know, they all, you know, they're only half of your genetics, so they're your genetics, their daddy's genetics, and that little combination, whatever happens in there, you really have no control over that. So you kind of need to, like, understand you don't have control over that. You really don't have control over the personality that's going to develop with that child, and you have control over your reactions to that personality. In general, I have learned over 16 years that I have no idea what I'm doing. For instance, I was talking about picky eaters. I thought I was, you know, I'm a good mom because my baby, my 6th-year, my oldest, you know, when he was 4, he wasn't a picky eater. He ate everything I gave him. He was a really good kid. He's very charismatic. A lot of people like him. I never got complaints from his teachers and stuff at school. Just a good kid. And I'm not saying I took 100% credit for that. I'm just saying he was a good kid, and he was a really good eater. And when I met who are now my step kids, you know, they've been in my life for like over 10 years now, they're freaking picky eaters. Naturally, I'm blaming their dad for that. Their upbringing before they met me. Because if they knew me from the get-go, they wouldn't be so picky, right? Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm wrong, 100% wrong. Why? Because I bred with their dad, and I have 2 more from that man. So I now have two picky eaters from my womb. That's nature. That is not nurture. It's not because I didn't try to give those kids freaking green beans. It's not because, you know, I didn't do the baby-led weaning correctly. It's not because I gave them pears before I gave them Brussels sprouts. Oh, how dare I give my child something sweet versus something nasty. Anyway, my point is that, you know, I was so sure that I was, you know, doing the right thing because I had a 4- and 5-year-old kid that would eat sushi and seafood or whatever I gave him, he would eat it. And now I've got a 2-year-old who probably hasn't had a vegetable in, I don't know, a month, maybe 2. I don't know. It's probably why he doesn't poop very well. He pretty much lives off of chicken nuggets and applesauce and yogurt. Yeah, so there. Nature versus nurture. Nature wins, and my toddler, he wins. He wins every battle. He is strong-willed, and he's gonna eat what he wants. Eventually, when he gets a little bit older, sure enough, I will be making sure that I can introduce more vegetables so that little jerk face. But for the most part, those last 2 kids, yeah, that nature won over. It won, and I lost. Let that put some peace in your heart, moms, that there's other moms out there that have struggles, and know that, you know, you are only part of your child's tantrums, I guess, if that's the word that I'm thinking of. You can raise them how you want. You can spank them or don't spank them. You can feed them vegetables and give them green smoothies and force it down their throat. You can do timeouts, you can do whatever, but just know whatever you're doing, is if you're questioning on whether or not you're doing it right, and you think other moms are giving you the stink eye because you disciplined your child, well, then you're doing it right. Have a good one. Enjoy motherhood. Peace out, Girl Scout.